So give me a moment or two to try and fix things. First of all, we don't need the DSCL logo on, so that's something I can leave. Where do you even put stuff? I don't even know. I'll just go for that, guys. Again, sorry, obviously this is not going to be ideal. But, well, better than not casting the games at all, I guess. So let's do this. Oh, hotkeys are showing up. You can't hide the hotkeys on this version. Oh my god. Alright, well, I'm just going to have to deal with it. This is what we get for casting things a week late and for them putting another patch out. So silly. It's just so stupid how they break replays every single time they put a patch out. It's like unbelievable. Guys, the top left hand side is Ryung. He's going to be our red Terran player. And he's going up against the blue Protoss. To the bottom right hand side, it is Cyan. So I should probably also do this. It's been a long time since I had to Control Shift N. But I'll have to put that up there. Let's see what's going to happen. So, yeah, so this is kind of annoying because it also means I have replays to cast for the next 2 days as well. Which means we're probably going to have the same issue. Because they were played Thursday and Friday. I guess the patch that went through was just today. I imagine. I can't imagine, because I just downloaded a little patch now, and it's kind of silly if that broke all the replays, but, well, it is what it is. Anyways, you see Nexus on the way up here from Cyan to the natural expansion. Ryung going to be starting up with his own command center. So send that up here early on. I'm just going to be seeing this Marine just pick off a probe. So probe goes down nice and early, and I'm just going to be seeing Ryung claims that. That's pretty nice for him, as he sets up a factory in his main base as well. So factory on the way up right now. And we're just going to be seeing, well, yeah, just sort of setting up and looking to see how things are going to be going over the next few moments, really. So just setting up into this and having a look to see what sort of direction we'll go in for both of these players over the next few minutes. So, I mean, Ryung comes into this. I mean, Cyan, the thing is, Cyan comes into this kind of as an underdog, I guess, especially against most of the players in this bracket. But he's definitely a very kind of high-profile underdog. You know, he's won the came second place NSL this year. He's definitely been the Chinese player to watch out for. So if there is any Chinese player, probably him along Ayasoni, who's the other Chinese player in the bracket, is the kind of, you know, the kind of players you want to watch out for. So they are the Chinese players to watch out for, and, you know, they are in this bracket. And so let's see if Cyan can cause a bit of an upset in the very first match of the day against Ryung. He is going to open with his Stargate here to start things off. So Stargate comes down just below this mineral line, and let's see if we continue to move across to the upper left-hand side of the map. We're going to be seeing the command center coming down on the natural. Starport starts to come up, and with Tech Lab finishing on the factory. So we're going to get a bit aggressive here, perhaps with a Cyclone and then a tank maybe. He might not bother to go for any of that. He might just go with a mine drop and kind of go with that as well. There's a lot of different possibilities, basically, in the early stages. So a few different possibilities. We see a few Marines going to move towards the ramp here, and this Adept just shading forward. Cyan having a little bit of a look to see what's up and what's going on in these early stages. So Adept just continuing to shade on forwards. Particulars do raise, though, from drone just to block that Adept from getting in. I'm just going to be seeing the few Marines just still gathering together down towards the natural expansion. So a few more Marines gathering up together. And well, what else is going on? Pounding at the front. I mean, nothing really too much. It is just going to be this aggression from Ryung from the get-go, looking to see this tank, this medevac, popping out in the very near future as the tank does siege up. I'm just going to be seeing Ryung, again, getting a little bit aggressive. We'll see what he can achieve here. I feel as though Cyan's setup is pretty nice, though. I mean, he's going to have these few depths out. If Ryung isn't careful, this Oracle is going to go across the map, and there isn't going to be anything left at home to deal with the Oracle, which would be very painful as well, very frustrating. So that could be quite a nuisance, as we're going to be seeing Ryung starting to move down towards that bottom right-hand side. There's a few Adepts moving up here as well. And they're going to start taking just a little bit of damage right now, so they're going to start taking actually quite a bit of damage. Tank shot goes off. These Adepts will continue to shade away down to the bottom right-hand side. Oracle flies in, though, already picking off a Mule here to begin with. 1 kill on that already, as we're going to see it going up to 2, 3, 4 kills. However, now the Cyclone does come in, and we are going to see the Cyclone getting rid of this Oracle nice and quickly. But 7 workers killed, so already Ryung taking some damage, and Cyan now just has to make sure you can defend against this. First shot from the tank does go down. These Adepts do take a little bit of damage. You can see the second Oracle is now out ready to help defend. And that can definitely help things out as well right now, as we see these Adepts just going to start shading out for Cyan, shading towards the front. And these units of Ryung just backing away towards the upper left-hand side. So Ryung's going to back off right now. Magfield Accelerator coming up for him alongside the Cyclone production. So setting up into that as an engineering bay drops down here from Ryung. And we just see everything getting set and ready to roll. A few Adepts going to warp in on the other side of these rocks, so just warping in over here. Getting these few units set and ready to go. And just going to actually counterattack here with quite a sizable number of adepts. Obviously, there's no upgrade, no resonating glaives. It has been that Stargate opening. And so far, nothing else. We haven't seen a Robo or no Twilight Council place down, not even a Forge. So, just these adepts. Wolof is here, and so Ryung should be fairly safe. Cyan shouldn't be able to get too much done as these adepts try to shade forwards, but it's just not quite going to happen. Two oracles joined together, so actually made a third oracle. As he comes on in, he's going to already start toggling down free work as Cyclone locks on. As you can see, these two oracles are going to be able to get away there, so oracles do manage to escape. And now we're just going to be seeing kind of Ryung, just with everything coming in. I don't know how I've turned health bars on suddenly, because beforehand we had no health bars at all, but suddenly health bars are on, so I've got absolutely no idea. But oracles come back into the main base, and actually these oracles are just doing so much damage. Ryung is consistently taking so much damage here. As we're going to be seeing now, these oracles, they're going to get taken down, so oracles fall. And we're just going to be seeing a few of these cyclones. Well, actually all of them staying alive, so that's kind of nice. So oracles go down. I mean, the damage they've done is already very good, but can Cyan hold a counterattack as whoa, SCV's being pulled as well. Ryung very serious about this. I mean, he is kind of very committed. He's still only building Medevac, Cyclone, and Marines. He hasn't got extra racks. He hasn't got the idea of Stimpak on the way anytime soon as well. So he's got a very kind of limited amount of stuff here to kind of work with. As we're going to be seen moving down to the bottom right hand side of this attack, trying to determine the game, but look how much is ready for Cyan. He's got sentries to buy time. He's got the Phoenix up here as well to help himself out. As these couple of Cyclones just starting to work their way through this pylon. And the pylon is just going to get taken down as a tank shot goes down once again. We've seen this tank moving forwards from Ryung. And just trying to move forwards here once more. Just having a look to see what's going on. A couple of force fields coming down as this tank will try to continue working its way through some of these adepts. Adepts still doing a pretty good job of trading. As we're going to be seeing the tank dropping down once more from Ryung. And just looking to see what's going on over the next few moments here as tank drops down once again. And here he goes. Cyclone going to start getting worked away at as these adepts continue to work their way through this as well. So just trying to do a little bit more. Cyclones continue to push forwards though, and it's looking very good for Ryung as Cyan just does not have enough. So for all that damage he did, he just can't deal with these Cyclones. Such a hard composition to deal with. Immortal from the right side though picks off one of those Cyclones right from the get-go. Adepts now shading forwards. Is this kind of Cyan pushing this far enough back? Well, he just pushed these units quite far back. The force fields are good as well, just to stop these units from really being able to commit forwards once again. As we are going to be seeing Ryung. A few more units left over. He's got some bunkers that he wants to try and build up here. This will force Cyan to really commit into the army, which isn't what he wants to do, obviously, because he wants to be in this position where actually he's able to just sort of sit back and not be kited away time and time again. As the Cyclones continue to take a lot of damage here, continue to pick away at a lot of these units. There is that Immortal to continue to take a lot more damage. And we're just going to be seeing a few more deaths open in as well. An overcharge dropped. Cyan's still holding on. 20 supply lead for him at this point, as we do see him. Still have a pylon over here. Ryung has taken some extra work and losses, I think, kind of throughout this. To maybe some adepts or something, I feel. I mean, we did miss that. Sorry, again, we don't have the game heart set up here, so it's kind of painful. But Cyclone's going to get rid of the mothership core. There's another Immortal about to pop. Only 3 Cyclones and 2 Marines left over. These adept shading forwards, I think, can probably get rid of these Marines. Yeah, he's going to force everything to lift up. So Ryung lifts, going to back away just in a position he can kite from. As one of those Cyclones, though, gets very, very low. And it's at this point where actually Phoenix could become very useful again to come in and maybe just shunt down those medevacs and stop them from staying out on the map. SCV drops down. They'll try and repair up these Cyclones, especially the ones on low health. As immediately across the map, we're going to be seeing a gateway being added on, another pylon as well. So Cyan going to move forwards with these couple of adepts, and once again trying to harass and get further damage done. As adepts just continuing to shade around here, Cyan looking to see where else he can get to, as a Marine gets taken down at the back already, and Ryung, no response just yet, as you see adepts with a large amount of adepts now shading forward. Cyan, it looked very scary for him for a few moments here, but he's found the right engagements, he's found the ways to engage and trade correctly, and he's really withered away at Ryung's army. And of course, behind all of this, he's been on 3 bases, while Ryung has just been on 2 bases, meaning that, you know, in general, trades are much better for Cyan than they are for Ryung. A couple more Stalkers warp in here. Liberator is set up, and these Cyclones just looking to try and move forwards right now. And they're going to starting to lock on to a lot of these adepts. And, well, he gets rid of this Liberator pretty quickly. The Warp Prism Micro to get rid of the lock-ons. SCVs in the back going to get taken down as the adepts do what they do best at the front, which is tanking, hunting down units. GG is called. Ryung is going to type on out, and Cyan is actually going to end up taking game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Game number 2. So it's a little bit of an interesting one. Cyan leading here. As we have to the bottom left hand side, it is Cyan, our teal Protoss player. Going up against the purple Terran to the top right side is Ryung. Almost feel as though we should just cast from like zoomed out, just because of why it's like there's so little space on the overlay, because of we've got this stupid thing here, we've got this big black box at the bottom as well. Oh, so ugly, right? Man, this really takes me back. Can't even remember. Actually, I remember the last time we kind of casted something from this. It was again the same sort of. It was like the same issue. Like we tried to cast replays like a week, like a few days after, and there'd been a patch, and it was just like no. It was in the team league, and it was just like so horrible. Anyways, jump into this, and we'll see what's going to happen. We see a refinery coming up here from Ryung. It's just setting that up, getting ready to go, and a rack's coming down at the front for him. So it has been a gas first. So going to look to pressure in the early stages in this. Series. So just going to look to put on some pressure early on, and we'll see exactly how that turns out. I mean, as well, at the same time, he could just go into kind of a gas first Reaper based expansion, which does kind of allow him for pressure, but he's also got that expansion still coming up as well. So a couple of different things that you can go for here over the next few moments. And as you just have Probe just building up on this Nexus. There's going to be seeing the fire Reaper starting to come on up. So Reaper coming up here in the early stages from Ryung. Nexus is on the way down at the natural expansion as well. So Nexus coming on down. You can see a probe starting as well from Cyan. I mean, really nothing too crazy at all from Cyan at all. So we are going to be seeing just both players expanding. And it's pretty kind of standard thing. So we're just going to be seeing this Reaper popping out. Going to be heading across the map. Having a look to see what's up and what's going on over the next few moments here. What's up everyone in the chat as well, guys? Let me know what's going on. Let me know how you're doing. Welcome to the stream, of course. Marty1337, will I be at Home Story Club? Yes, I will be. And that's about it for the chat for now. So again, let me know what's up. Let me know how it's going, guys. I was just trying to bring you guys the Leifeng Cup 156 playoffs from last week. Again, it's a little bit unfortunate because we have this sort of, well, kind of replay thing which is broken. So we're kind of in a bit of a situation where we can't really watch them as we would like to with Game Heart and so on. But we have to just make the most of it. So making the most of it and looking to see how this continues. You can see this Reaper just on the way to the bottom left hand side. He did scout already with an SCV to the top left, so going to go straight cross map now, and he's just going to find his opponent straight away. So going to find out where his opponent is. Sees that Adept, and well, Stargate currently on the way up out of Cyan. So again, Stargate based play early on. It worked very well for him in the last game. Those are 2 oracles initially, or 3 oracles even. Did a lot of damage in the very early stages, and so doing a lot of damage in the early stages allowed Cyan to put himself into a decent position when it came to holding on. If Ryung had a little bit more economy back at home while he was making those attacks, I sort of feel we get to this position where, you know, we sort of see Ryung kind of fall, you know, doing a, you know, getting to this point where he falls apart a little bit, and where he, you know, where he doesn't fall apart, where he stays alive, he gets a few more reinforcements out, he can rebuild and so on, and just gets him into a better position as Cyan wasn't able to kind of hold on. Well, he was able to hold on, but he wouldn't have been able to hold on if Ryung just had that little bit more. It was very, very close. I mean, again, there was points where I thought Cyan was more or less just dead already, so that was not ideal. So, again, if Ryung can just hold on and not take as much damage from the initial oracles, that'd be fantastic. He has set up a bit better to do that this time around with the Widowmine base play. He's got Marines continuing to pump out. He had Marines last time, but the Widowmines definitely help with that against the Oracle quite a lot, and we'll see if he goes into a Cyclone now as well, because 2 Widowmines is more or less where you want to be at, and you'll just... It kind of depends. You can go 3 Widowmines, you can go 2. It depends what you load up with the first medevac. If you load up the Marines, then you go 3 Widowmines, you drop them next. This time around, it's just going to be a Liberator following up the 2 Widowmine drop, which is starting to come down to the bottom left-hand side. So, Widowmine drop coming in here from Ryung in the early stages, looking to see what he can get up to, and looking to see if he can get some damage over the next few moments. So, moving on down to the bottom left-hand side, Ryung, with this 1 medevac with 2 Widowmines inside. Again, just looking to see how this goes, what happens here over the next few moments. Now, there's Phoenix on the way up from Cyan. We do see, well, that Oracle is currently positioned up here. It's actually already moved in and picked off 1 worker, but that's about it. Sorry, I missed that. So he moved in, took a little bit of damage, actually, and comes back and will be able to maybe deny that barracks. Maybe a little bit afraid. 5 probes going down. As you see, the Widowmine is doing a good job, and a second Widowmine going to get 2 more workers. So 7 workers killed. This is definitely Ryung off to a very, very good start in this game. It's exactly what he wants, you know, to get a few worker kills, to shut down the Oracle without the Oracle really doing much at all. I mean, where's that Oracle now? It's even still on the map. It is. It's all the way back at home, because actually there is no detection right now to deal with the Widowmine, so he has to pull the Oracle back. So this is awkward, because you won't have the energy to detect or revelate both the Widowmines. Oh no, it's another probe going down there. There's a revelation. As you can see, a Fortunate Twilight will build behind this, but the Widowmine in the main base gets 2 more workers as well, and that's now 10 workers off of these first 2 Widowmines, and that's the position Ryung wants to be in. Damage done, puts himself ahead, and already Ryung is going to be steamrolling forwards. What's the worker count actually at then? Would be nice if I can find that. 42 to 39. Well, a Terran player ahead on workers is definitely a happy Terran player. Generally in the TvP, you do not want to be behind on workers as the Protoss player, because the Terran player has mules to kind of use as well, and generally you're the player expanding faster and so on. So if you're behind on workers, you're not having a good time. As a 2-kill Liberator is going to reposition towards the natural expansion as well. Ryung going to be trying to set up here elsewhere as the overcharge goes down. Ryung a little bit of indecision as to which way would have been best for him to move with that. And so in the end, he does end up losing that Liberator. Now we do see 8 Marines. They've loaded up into Medevac as well, so Ryung going to continue his pressure. I mean, he doesn't have many upgrades with these. There's +1 about to finish, but Stims are way away. So because of that, he's not going to do much with this, but even just a couple more pro-up kills going to keep on slowing down Cyan here in the early stages, as we have this Medevac coming to the south side. Going to be moving through the bottom and in towards the main base in the next few moments. Observer coming out and just spot that Medevac as well, so just coming over here, we'll begin to unload. Marines starting to pop out. And, well, we'll see what happens over the next few. Now, here comes the Oracle back in towards the natural mineral line. And it is very low in health, so it has to be cautious. Does not want to lose too much here. As you see the Marines moving forwards, and probes are starting to drop pretty quickly. 4 or 5 workers killed off. As we see these Marines going to just sit behind the mineral line, trying to work their way through in the simulator. I mean, that's, again, 4 or 5 probes, which is really workers which Cyan cannot afford to lose, putting him even further behind in terms of economy here. He's got his third base up, but there's also a third base set for the Terran player. So 3 SCVs being made at a time to 3 probes made at a time. The triple mule is powerful. And now, continuing to move across the map, these 2 Medevacs of Ryung are continuing to push on forwards, are continuing to set on up into a fairly aggressive position. A sentry gets warped in, a stalker warping in as well out of Cyan. So a couple of these units warping in right now, just both players getting set and ready to go. As units just gather up on the watchtower. Watch this, Oracle coming back in. Tries to pick off a few more workers, 5 workers, 6 workers killed actually. Took a couple of Marines and a couple of Marauders are moving forwards to try and push that Oracle back. And Oracle is pushed back, Scan comes down, stimming forwards. I mean, this is the sort of position where if he stays away from pylons, it could be pretty good for Ryung, because honestly, he's done so much damage throughout that the army itself is not really going to be that powerful. This pylon here at the front could go down very quickly, and that powers the Robo. He's not going to get it, though. Oh, maybe he will now. He actually just turned to make sure he got the mothership core first of all, and now look how many workers are going down. At the same time as a drop in the main base, he loads, he leaves the natural, dropping the main cleaned up, with 13 workers killed and 2 full Medevacs still around. Ryung is having a pretty good time here in game number 2. He's down a game in this best of 3, and he is looking to bounce back now as we see this couple of Medevacs getting set to go back in towards the main base over the next few moments. Mothership core coming back towards the main base as well as those couple of stalkers. Just looking to push those Medevacs away. So Medevacs do get pushed away right now. And, well, Blink on the way up. So I'm going into Resonating Glaives first, which is obviously a great upgrade in terms of, you know, hey, I can come in and I can do a little bits and pieces on, I can trade pretty well, but it doesn't help you so much against defending drops especially. That's where the Blink really does excel, because the stalkers can get into locations so easily and so quickly to respond to drops. As we're going to be seeing these couple Medevacs trying to get towards the main base, a few stalkers in the depths ready to greet them already, damage being done, and those couple Medevacs do just have to turn away right now. Same to the left hand side, Ryung just setting up with these units, getting ready to move forwards, and he does start to sim on in and look to see what he's going to be able to get up to here as, well, probes will start to go down very quickly. Already 3 of them taken down, and Nexus taking quite a lot of damage. A couple of Adepts coming forwards here as well. The upgrades are, I guess, in favour of the Terran player just by +1 armor upgrades, so that's pretty substantial actually. You know, when you've got +1 attack against no armor, it does do quite a lot of damage. So again, just trading here, and it's Ryung back in the main base who's continuing to pick away at Cyan, and you sort of feel like Ryung just has enough to sort of push and just end the game really. So just waiting for him to get to that stage. In fact, Cyan just not even cleaning out anything in the main. He's actually just going to GG out Ryung. Going to take game 2, and we're going to be tied up just like that here. It's just worked out of nowhere. Alright, let me replace the WardiTV logo and the events list. Alright. Well, that's a good start. Yeah, that's nice. You know, maybe it's because we didn't log back in or anything. Like, maybe it's just because we did quit straight out and then just opened it again, so it just saves the settings, I guess. I guess so, right? It'd be nice if I could remember how I just did this, because then I could make sure I do it next time. Anyways, let's do this. We have to the bottom left-hand side, our Teal Protoss player. It is Cyan. 1-1 right now with Ryung in this best of 3 series in the first round of the Leifeng Cup number 156 playoffs. We have to the top right, our red Terran player is Ryung.
So Ryung versus Cyan game number 3 starting on up right now, as we do have this Rax coming down in the main base here after the gas though, so it is going to be gas first. So gas first Reaper expand most likely, although it is one of these maps where you can just go for gas first pressure of the factory straight away. However, he's already rallied that SCV down to the low ground. So it is going to be gas first Reaper, it'll be a fast factory follow-up, and we'll see what that means over the next few moments as this probe moving on forwards. We'll look to see what's going on, and SCV coming down to that low ground there from Ryung, as you mentioned, is going to be looking to drop down a command center most likely over the next few moments of this. So looking to drop down a command center here, and we'll just see the probe being a little bit of a nuisance, trying to just stop this from happening for now. And there we go, command center coming on down, and you'll see this SCV from Ryung just going to go back to the high ground, happy that this probe has now been pushed away. We're going to see the factory drops down as well right now from Ryung. We're just going to be seeing the CC coming up as well. At this point, Reaper pops out, and we'll start to head across the map as well in the early stages of this. So just going to see the Reaper moving across, and a reactor comes down now as well. So reactor coming in, factory is again just about halfway done. I'm just going to be seeing Adept is coming up to being about halfway done as well. Nexus is going to be finishing very shortly too, and a probe coming into play. Mothership core starts. Pretty much everything you would sort of expect to see at this sort of point of time. So as Reaper continue to move down to the bottom left, and SCV of Ryung starts to move on out. Reaper pops up in towards the main base here, and again just having a look to see what's going on. Grenade will go down, and these probes will start to take quite a bit of damage, and Depth comes in and is going to be pushing this Reaper away once again. So goodbye Reaper, as it does push away over towards the center of the map once more. And Ryung, just with this SCV, continuing to move around and look to see what direction exactly he's going to end up going in. Robo facility here from Cyan is continuing to just come on up, so very safe opening from him. I'm not sure what Cyan's really seen in this game. I mean, he saw CC coming down, not really a lot at all, so he saw the CC coming down, might know it's gas first Reaper, but he's just going to go Robo Twilight. So yeah, I mean, you don't really need to go for extra gateways if the CC comes down, because there's not really a way for the Terran player to have enough pressure on the map to stop you from doing that. So this is pretty neat, as we're going to be seeing just the gateway coming down here as well from Cyan. So another gateway added on, a couple more gateways added on. And Cyan just going to be coming down, sending probe to mine. I mean, very standard stuff. So from the Robo, initially you'll probably see an Observer, then potential for Mortals. You can add that War Prism as well. The Twilight Council allows you to go into Blink, most likely at this stage of the game. And as we're expecting to see Blink rather than that Resonating Glaze. I mean, Glaze is something which if you go into at this stage, you can be very aggressive, and sometimes even just straight up all in. Blink is much more macro focused, like, hey, I want to get a third base up, I want to set up into this and that, so set up into this and see what ends up happening. Adept comes in actually, and there's going to be a scene 2 Adept picking off that Reaper nice and easily. That's a nice little pick off actually. I mean, the less you see of that, generally the better. So the Reaper is going to get shut down, doesn't really get any information at all. Let's actually just check the vision of Ryung. He hasn't seen the tech here at all, as we're going to be seeing just a Ridderman drop coming on in. So let's see how Cyan deflects this. I mean, this is the first time we've seen him opening without a Stargate here, so let's see if Ryung can get some early damage done. Nice overcharge to begin with, as you can just see that Medevac just very low on health, and actually the Stalker's going to chase. It might go down. You can see he's dropping his units just to make sure he can get it away, and he does sacrifice 2 Marines to keep the Medevac alive, so that's nice. But at the same time, he also still hasn't done any further damage, and that's not exactly where Ryung wants to be at this point. You know, he wants to be doing damage. Another Wooden Mine drop loads up, this time 2 mines and 4 Marines, as he moves down to that bottom left-hand side to see what exactly he can get up to here over the next few moments. Siege Tank and a Liberator coming into play from Ryung, continuing to set on up. I mean, it is Galactic Process, and if we talk about this map and its layout for just a few moments, it's a very good defensive map, and it's a very good aggressive map for units which are zone control units, such as the tanks, such as the Liberators, because of all of these choke points, positions on the low ground. So it's a really nice map to kind of play how Ryung is playing, with that Liberator and tank coming up early. I mean, yes, in a way it's just for harassment slash, you know, kind of defensive purposes early on, but I still think it ends up pretty nice here, as we see one Wooden Mine gets cleaned out instantly. This overcharge not going to be in time. Oh, it is in time, because there's an overseer, an observer overhead. Good stuff. Good defense by Cyan. Has Ryung is actually the player who's dropping quite far behind right now. 38 workers to 52. Cyan's having the time of his life, defending everything, taking absolutely no damage at all. And Ryung isn't really taking damage. It's just he isn't doing the damage he needs to kind of stay up and keep up in the game. So Ryung not with the best of starts here. I was going to see these Stalkers moving forwards. They'll have the high ground vision now to blink up if they want to, but I think they're on cooldown, otherwise they would have chased that Medevac and caught it, especially with how low health it was. A Medevac is always a nice little pick-off to be making here. I was going to see a couple of Marines unloading. Tank Siege is on up. Another tank is popping out of Ryung, and just moving forwards right now as Stalkers will move forwards as well. And just try to work their way through a deeper or so. Maybe coming forwards, try to get a medevac, but just blinking backwards. A good defensive play from Cyan. Doesn't want to throw away these units, doesn't want to commit too far to not actually really end up gaining anything. As this command center just going to be finishing up very soon as well. A few workers going down as the Liberator comes in across the map. Nice target firing from Ryung. I mean, target firing here means he actually picks up a bunch of worker kills rather than just wasting shots on Stalkers, which, yeah, I mean, Stalker kills are nice as well, but the workers are much more valuable to him at this point. And it does allow him to start catching up, but these Stalkers are doing a good job as well. That's 4 workers killed by the Stalkers. They'll blink away without losing a single one. I was about to say, he might just about lose that one, which was on the very edge, but no, he keeps it alive. Perfect. That's exactly what he wanted there. And just returning the damage he just took, I mean, that cost him, well, basically a Liberator and 2 probes. A Liberator was traded for 2 probes, essentially, because 4 SCVs went down and 6 probes went down, but the Liberator also went down as well. So it's a bit of an interesting trade, a bit of a different trade there. As 1-1 upgrades come up here from Cyan. We see the Robo Facility going to be about halfway done on that Immortal here very shortly. A Gateway will start up as well. 2 Gateways will start up. So Cyan just continues into his mid-game production. I mean, look at these already, so many other Gateways coming up as well. Just setting up into so many of these as Stalkers pushing forwards once again. Gonna get turned away by the tanks and the Marines though. Resonating Glaives is continuing to come on up. It's about 75% of the way researched right now. As you can see, Cyan just backing away with this Warp Prism, backing away with these few Adepts over to the left side of the map. Stalkers from Cyan looking to see what they can do. Actually going to move up here and just get an SCV. They took 1 tank shot. I mean, 1 tank shot is fine because they only lose shields. If you're only losing shields, then they're going to regenerate very quickly, and that's completely fine. So Stalkers here, they're doing a pretty good job. They're doing okay. They're doing, you know, just fine at this point in the game. As you're going to be seeing another scan just going down, getting rid of an observer, or trying to. Not sure if he was actually successful there. He's got 1 observer throughout the game. I feel as though it wasn't just then. It looks as though the observer that was there was a bit further back, so that's quite nice. And he's kind of a smart one, right? Because the only reason he's able to get this kind of high ground vision is because there is something like an observer in position. So moving it out of place, Cyan definitely gets a lot done. There's a couple of Adepts going to pick up some kills. There's actually 2 SCVs killed so far. And Cyan just going to continue to escape up to this top side right now. So Cyan escaping up to the top side. This Liberator going to start working its way through this Warp Prism. Marine's going to stim forwards and just going to try and target down the Warp Prism. Actually doesn't quite get it just yet, so the Adepts can unload. But with the Marines nearby, they're not going to get too much more done. Maybe 1 more worker kill, and that's 5 workers. But again, still 5 workers. I mean, you talk about these workers going down time and time again. It's actually only been 11 workers killed by Cyan throughout. I thought it would have been some more, because I feel as though there's been multiple times this game where we've seen Cyan picking off workers. But again, I mean, 5 here, 5 there. It does begin to add up as time goes by, and just keeps Ryung in that little position of economy where he's more or less okay because he's got the triple mule. But he, you know, if he has to kind of scan a couple times rather than mule, his economy is going to be a little bit lesser, and that's why Cyan can really take an advantage as he has 2 upgrades coming in as well. That's a huge advantage here, actually. The armory is only halfway done from Ryung, so that's very delayed, and actually upgrades are going to be a major part of this from Cyan. You know, if he's up on 2-2 and there's only 1-1 out for our Terran player, then Cyan's going to have a great time taking engagements. He's going to have so many timing windows where he can attack and just naturally have an advantage in the engagement before anything really happens. Marines and Marauders splitting up a little bit here. A couple of tanks in the medevacs as well. The Liberators moving around too, looking to see what's going on. Stalkers blink backwards now. There's a few more Liberators coming down as well to the south side. You can see these Stalkers Adepts just going to start working their way through these rocks. And as these rocks go down, I'm just going to see again this map being opened up a little bit here. So rocks get taken down. We're going to see these few Liberators just sieging on up. And then a few Marines and Marauders trying to work their way through the rocks to the south side. Adepts looking as though they were going to shade forwards there, but in the end they do not. And they just kind of cancel away to join the army once more. He's going to try and defend this from a different location, defend this from the left-hand side, which can be a bit difficult because he's created kind of a choke point for himself here. So he has to be very cautious moving through this sort of direction. As Adepts are moving forwards, maybe looking for an engagement. I think the Bio army is just a little bit too far ahead for this engagement to really take place right now. As you see, just a Adept taken down on the low ground. A couple of Widow Mines moving forwards as well, going to be burrowing onto the Watchtower. And with all of these Liberators send up, Cyan knows he doesn't want to fight this because actually for Cyan all he wants to do is sit back and continue to get his upgrades, continue to build his tech up here. Taking a fight right now does not make a lot of sense for Cyan at all, so it makes more sense for him to just sit back and say, well, as long as you're not close to my base, I can disengage, because that means you're not going to be setting up aggressively into positions here, which are going to be very frustrating for me to deal with. Ghost Academy comes in from Rio, and we're just going to be seeing him setting that up, so you're going to see some EMPs available shortly, some ghosts, and just that sort of general sort of stage where, you sort of need it against this amount of Adepts. You think about a couple of EMPs, well, 2 EMPs are so valuable. Get rid of all those shields. The Adepts suddenly have like half the health. They're half as tanky, essentially. and boom, all of a sudden that army of the Protoss player disappears when the engagement begins. You know, one Widowmine shot is suddenly killing Adepts rather than just splashing them down low. So the combination of just a few ghosts can do so much for this army. Immortals as well, one of these units which are very heavily affected by EMPs, because not only does the shield disappear, but also it pops the barrier if you have the barrier on autocast, which is not generally what you want, but at this kind of larger stage of the game, maybe it's something you do have turned on. So it could be definitely a very good thing for Ryung, which we're seeing here is, ooh, going to be seen in commitment into so many Liberators. Yeah, Cyan backs away from that. That was not a good trade in any way, shape, or form. I mean, walking into like 3 or 4 Liberators and not even having the Stalkers near the front to deal with those. Big mistakes, and a few Adepts go down forward. So Ryung, nice little engage for him there. So we're going to be seeing these Adepts just moving forwards, keeping an eye on the army more than anything. And it is kind of the army position which is important to keep track of, you know. You want to make sure that your opponent here is not going to be getting into positions where you can't fight against them, you know. If Liberators siege up here on the third base, well, that's basically goodbye third base. So Cyan's doing a really good job of just greeting this army in the middle of the map and just making sure Ryung doesn't take kind of too aggressive position. As Vikings come in, though, one of these Colossi are very low. Doesn't go down just yet, though. That's incredible, the fact it survives on just 2 HP. I was going to see Adepts just shading forwards once again and looking to see what sort of position they can get into. Marines and Marauders, well, a few of them are going to stem ahead to begin this engagement. Adepts will cancel their shades, no commitment just yet. The War Prism to add the Warpins into this. I was going to see a Viking or two getting taken down. Stalker count is very good to fight against this right now. The Ghost looking for an EMP as well, of course, looking to see what they can find. 3-3 about to finish up for the Protoss player. So about to get another timing window here, which is going to be very favourable for him. It just finishes as Ryung decides to commit to the fight. The MPs do drop down. Vikings are getting rid of the Colossi to the left-hand side of the Immortals, though, are dropping to the right. There's no Adepts in front, and that's maybe one of the major problems here, as yes, the Bio army is getting withered away at, but there's only gateway units left, really, apart from a couple of Immortals. There's another Colossus that can actually help a lot, and it is going to be the thing which causes Ryung to turn away, but that's going to be goodbye Medivacs. No! Okay, yes, one of them goes down, but just at the very end. That could have been much worse. So Ryung gets away, but it's actually Cyan who takes a pretty significant supply lead in the game and still has got that upgrade advantage to work with. And behind all of this as well, really notable to point out, is the Tempest switch coming into play. So all of a sudden, Cyan is building into Tempest as well, and with Tempest on the way out too, he's getting into this position where he's very prepared to deal with a Terran late game army, which is going to consist of a heck of a lot of Liberators and so on. Templar Archives as well, great thing to add in here. A few Storms can wither away at Vikings very quickly and just make life so much easier for you. As you're going to see these Adepts, well, they're going to get set to go towards the natural. The army of Ryung is very centralized right now, so actually this War Prism is maybe not going to have the best of times here. You're going to see that army coming in, he's going to lift up whatever Adepts he can, only one of them. He's just going to warp into the main base instead. It's just going to keep on trying to trade as the Warp Prism goes down. It's actually DT that warps in over here. And he gets to get in. He will clean out a few workers. Will probably force a scan. As, well, there isn't too much energy. There's one scan available, and he will have to start saving that. As Ryung is currently chasing down an SCV. Not exactly what he wants to be doing, but again, I mean, some Marines, it's just annoying as more DTs approach the front as well. That scan comes down, first DT falls, as 2 more DTs approach the natural expansion. We'll probably split towards the natural/third base. Ryung does not see until he raises these depots up, which is not really a mistake. It's very hard to see these DTs, just 2 of them wandering in at that point, when there's so much going on. Even though, you know, the game's kind of passive at the moment, he's just looking so many different locations. As workers going down, there's another scan, and actually, you know what, these Marines will not be enough. Oh, there's one more Marine elsewhere, so that is going to go down in the end. And this DT at the third base is just going to force another scan. It's just stopping for Ryung from kind of dropping those mules, which he needs to kind of keep himself in a decent position in terms of the economy. Scan comes in, and there's going to be one more SCV dropping before that army, or before it cleans out the DT. And now Cyan just continuing to move around the map. We see a few High Templar just positioned fairly centrally in the army, and I love the fact that there's just Storm coming up here. A couple Tempests. It's kind of interesting. He only made 2 and then stopped because he's kind of scouting with the DTs, and what you've seen with the DTs is that there isn't any Liberators. And if there isn't any Liberators, well, actually, you don't really need the Tempests, because the Tempests are just going to force Vikings, and the Vikings are just going to force, well, you know, a counter to the Colossi, which is not what, you know, Cyan wants. So he's going to stop building Tempests. I mean, a couple are nice because he can still pick away at the army slowly. But any more than this, I mean, they're still good units when there's not Liberators on the map, but actually I think he's better off building more Colossi, building more Stalkers and so on, because without Liberators, I don't see how Ryung really pushes forwards in any sort of effective manner. Single DT to the left-hand side, there's a couple more to the right, and I love this, just consistently sending units forwards, looking for opportunities to get damage done, even just forcing a scan, taking map control, you know, getting rid of this watchtower vision. It's nice, it's just little things which add up here, and Yeah, I mean, Ryung's oversaturated on this base, but already you can just see his free workers killed. It forces a scan. It's the same to the third base. A few workers will go down, he'll force another scan, and it's just forcing Ryung to look in other places as this main army moves into position now, and Cyan's going to get into a great aggressive spot here towards the fourth base. Doesn't go down the ramp just yet, though. And just wait a few more moments. Maybe missing an Oracle. Oracle would be a really nice way to just sort of set up here with enough range or enough vision to kind of use the range of the Tempest to start picking away at maybe a Ghost or two, pick away at a Viking or two, before the fight even starts. This blink forwards is nice, denies those few units which are stimming in, trying to maybe pick off, say, a High Templar or some kind of expensive unit such as a Sentry before the engagement even begins. And I got to mention there is still a couple of sentries mixed in here as well. The ability to just, go for that Guardian Shield will reduce the damage coming in from this Bio army. As we still see, I mean, there's only so few Ghosts, there's only a few Vikings. I don't know if Ryung has the tech in his army to really fight against what the Protoss player has here. Cyan going to work his way through these rocks. I mean, once these rocks are down, he can then ping-pong between the bases a little bit more easily. He might even get up into position here anyways. Vikings coming in, they're going to be the first units to really turn this away as Marines and Marauders going to be moving forwards. Actually, he's fighting in without the rest of this. Storms coming down, and oh my god, the Storms are zoning these units away so nicely because he's essentially attacking into 2 choke points. High Templar are now gone, and they're going to morph into Archons. Colossi in the back row are still doing a pretty decent job here, working their way through so much. This Bio's starting to make his way forwards, but the Archons are still tanking. There just isn't enough to get rid of the Colossi. Vikings are getting rid of Tempest, but that's not what you want to see, and it's actually going to end up being Cyan who wins this series 2-1. Cyan looking very, very good here in this best of 3. A 2-1 victory for him is going to put him into the round of 4, and he's going to be moving